Hello.
Sorry.
Hello and welcome to Serious Yahoos, the podcast about Australian films that are unknown, unseen, forgotten, misremembered, or just ones we haven't watched. It's been a while, people. We are back after our COVID lockdown. It's been, 8 months maybe, I think. So I'm excited to get back into this. My name's Justin. I'm here with Jared,
Hello.
Julia,
Hi.
and Toasty.
What's up?
And we're here to watch two more Australian films. And it should be a bit of a dark, dank day today. So our first film is called Envy from 1999, also known as The New Girlfriend, directed by Julie Money, starring Linda Cropper, Anna Phillips and Jeff Truman. It has an IMDb rating of 5.4 out of 10 and a Rotten Tomatoes audience rating of 29%. So yeah, right in that low area.
Oh dear.
Yeah, I know, right? The 5.4s is kind of what we're used to. I think that's what most of our films sit around. So yeah,
Slightly better than average.
but Margaret and David both gave this a 3.5 stars
Out of 4?
out of 5.
Oh, I was going to say.
So just above average for Margaret and David, which is, and they agreed on it. So
Right.
that's interesting. Yeah.
Positive.
Yeah.
So I don't know too much about it. Julie Money, I did some research on her. She's directed one other film that it's hard to find any details about before this one. Mostly done TV stuff like Police Rescue, and she's directed a hell of a lot of episodes of Home and Away after this. So
Great.
yeah.
I heard she's related to Joey Cash. What's up, Mum?
It's the puns, they start again. So Toasty, I'll get you to read the back of the box of Envy.
Well, the front has got a lady looking very seriously, and it says, "Welcome to the dark corner of the human heart." So we're going to have lots of guffaws today, a bit of a chuckle. It's called Envy, a film by Julie Money, and it has the ferns of the Toronto International Film Festival on the front.
What does it say about the Toronto Film Festival?
Nothing. It just says that it was in
It just aired at the festival.
It won nothing. Shall I read the quotes on the back or just the blurb?
Now give us the quotes as well.
The quotes are muscular, uncompromising, and a damn good Australian film. Megan Spencer, Triple J, or JJJ, depending. It's unusual for a thriller of this kind to cut this deep, and its enigmatic ending has a profoundly unsettling after effect. Tom Ryan, The Age,
Ooh.
or The Agger, depending. Two worlds. Okay, here's a blurb. Two worlds, two women on a collision course of sex, might, love, and manipulation. Kate is a successful businesswoman and a caring mother. Rachel is a young thief who once stole some of Kate's clothing. A chance meeting in a swimming pool leads to Kate's discovery of her stolen clothing and the beginning of a psychological warfare between Rachel's gang and Kate's family when Kate's son is physically abused by the gang. Kate becomes single-minded in her quest to take vengeance upon Rachel and her gang and embarks upon a course of action that will dramatically change the lives of the one she loves most.
Ooh, all right, so a revenge story.
Vengeance.
Yeah. What are our vibes from the box?
Promising, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it looks like it might be okay.
I'm looking forward to maybe getting that 90. I remember seeing this in the store as a young person, so maybe that 90s, some 90s nostalgia, even if it's they're beating each other up and it's depressing.
1999. I mean, we might get some good music, as we always hope for.
I am very hopeful for the music. I am hoping for moody, dark, possibly a little bit more upbeat, but still quite angry music. I'm going to be paying attention possibly to the sounds more than the
Maybe
sights.
some industrial kind of beats.
Yeah.
Like Insurgents. Is that the name of that band? Does anyone else remember them?
I remember them.
Yeah.
I don't remember much
Maybe
of the
some
90s.
Primal Scream or something. I kind of get the vibe that this is... Yeah, I don't know. It's going to be hard to tell how this one's going to go. Like, it doesn't have great ratings. 29% Rotten Tomatoes audience rating is not ideal. But, you can't trust the
I'm not going to be
audience.
swayed by the ratings. I think it has the potential to be a good story, possibly poorly told.
Yeah.
I think
hopefully.
it's an interesting premise for a story, like, a chance meeting at the swimming pool, recognizing some of your own clothing. So I think, we've all kind of had one of those moments where it's like, oh, you're that person, or I've seen that before, like I've certainly recognized, at least fabrics, on other people, and I'm like, oh, I've made a skirt with that same fabric,
Right.
but then to have possibly a more emotional and negative connection to cloth that then triggers something. I think it's an interesting premise.
Well, to confront somebody and say, hey, those are my clothes, then what are they going to say? No, they're not, But, how do you prove that, I guess?
Yeah, unless, of course, your mum sewed your name on the tag.
Yeah.
Pretty difficult.
Yeah, I feel like maybe the story will start quite well, but there's going to be something clunky, like an ultimate confrontation or something, or the third act, or whatever, the start of the third act, there'll be something that goes wrong, and it would be like, okay, right, you kind of dropped the ball there.
Yeah, or, possibly the emotional responses might be what we would consider to be unrealistic, which could be jarring and draw you outside of the film.
Yeah, it might be the best movie you've ever seen.
Yeah. I read
I don't know.
the chapter headings, and it gives some insight into the arc. I don't know if you want to hear them, but I imagine you don't, because you don't like hearing ahead. I don't mind. It's not all roses.
Right. It is MA15 plus for some sexual violence. I don't know if I like that idea. It's going to be.
Do I need my parents' consent to watch this?
I'm going to need consent forms from all of you after this.
Not before.
It's going to be a bit dark.
No, you can be scarred afterwards. Only if you're scarred do anything.
I think realistically we know it's going to be dark. I mean,
MA15 plus. Creepy
watching. The first line: two women collide in a collision course of sex, might, love, and manipulation.
Dark is good.
A collision course of might. What is?
The blurb doesn't say the titles of the film, Envy and The New Girlfriend. The blurb doesn't really say anything about that to me.
They're tied in, aren't they?
Well, in the same together. But so what Toasty read on the back for us, like it sounds like they're in conflict with each other. Where does the new girlfriend come in, or how does the Envy come in? Is the Rachel was the one who stole the clothing?
Yes, from
is
Kate.
She envious of Kate, perhaps?
Yeah, possibly in an emotional way, as her son's attentions are then diverted as he becomes his own person.
Let's just watch it, eh?
Yeah, I
See
guess.
what happens.
Let's speculate more over the next 6 hours.
All right, well, the next film we have is called Alison's Birthday from 1983, directed by Ian... 83, man, I thought it was 79. Okay.
It says 79 on the cover.
I must have written this down wrong. Okay, 79. So directed by Ian Coughlin. I'm not sure how to say that. Coughland. Coughlin, thank you. Ian Coughlin, starring Joanne Samuel and Lou Brown. An IMDb rating of 5.3 out of 10. A Rotten Tomatoes audience rating of 17%.
Oh, God.
And a Margaret and David I couldn't
Is that
find.
a new low?
I feel like it. I feel like it might be a new low.
What was that, like,
20, I think,
extremely B-grade thing that we watched?
25th,
that
right?
looked like it was... No, the one that looked like it was filmed by students.
Oh,
the Shakespearean.
Jekyll and Hyde.
Yeah, surely that was lower.
Yeah,
I think that's worth
I
revisiting.
wonder if it's in my notes here. Let's see. How long ago did we watch that one?
A while.
The Strange
lockdowns.
Game of Hide and Seek.
Yeah.
There was no. It was 6.5 out of 10 on Rotten Tomatoes.
I'm
I'm
sorry.
guessing they totally rated that
There was no
themselves.
Rotten Tomatoes audience rating though. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we remember back then there was 23 total rankings for that. 11 of them gave it 10 stars. So
I feel like that
the
data
cast
might
of
not be
crew.
unbiased. I feel like someone either told their mum to vote or made some fake accounts.
So I couldn't find a rating from Margaret and David for this one. So Ian Coughlin also directed some TV series and some TV movies. He was a long-standing writer for Neighbours. So I've got a bit of a tie-in between these two. So it should be interesting. This also comes in a box DVD, like a dual DVD, the David Hanney collection, and I looked him up, and he was a independent film producer from New Zealand, but did a lot of work in Australia, and has quite a good name in the industry for supporting independent directors and film projects and stuff like that. So hopefully that reflects in the film. But Jared, I'll get you to read the back of the box for this one.
All right, I'll start with the front of the box.
Please do.
A young girl comes of age, and evil destiny awaits her. And it looks as B-grade as you can get. So we're up for a horror here. When young Alison Finlay is invited back to her childhood home to celebrate her 19th birthday, she must not only face the past, but is subjected to her intense psychological haunting from her surrounds. Facing nervous exhaustion with nightmares pushing her to the edge of sanity, her boyfriend Pete calls upon an occultist friend, as you do, with a Ouija board to uncover some startling truths about Alison's past. In the creepy tradition of Rosemary's Baby, Alison's Birthday is a haunting trip into the dark depths of despair.
Wow. I mean, they sell it quite well in the back there, but it's rated PG. I don't know how dark and crazy it's going to get. think it's going to be quite mild. It's going to be no Exorcist, that's for sure.
Yeah, I think it would just be mild through the lens of experience that we have now, but perhaps at the time it was very confronting.
I feel like this movie will potentially stick with us for the rest of our lives.
I have high hopes. I always do.
We watch this one first.
My feeling is that it will be, hopefully that it'll be so bad that it's good. I know you've watched the trailer, Jared, as have I.
Yeah.
And it looks that way.
Yeah, I think this one's actually got potential.
Yeah, I think it could be a bit of a cult classic, maybe.
Do you think it has the potential of Doom Generation? Which is one of my top 10.
Yeah, maybe not.
Doom Generation? I don't know that one.
Oh, it is. We'll watch it outside of this podcast.
It's not Australian?
No, it's not Australian,
Okay.
but it is a diamond in the realm of spin. I love it. So
I remember
good.
that.
It is so bad that it's good.
I'll keep an eye out for it. I don't watch a lot of horror films, they're just not really my genre. But the one that kind of always sticks in my mind is Martyrs. I don't know if anyone else has seen that one. French horror film, really kind of, really crazy, almost like 3 films in one. That's kind of like that's what I rank as good horror. But this is, it's going to be B grade, it's going to be pretty dodgy, I think. I think there's going to be a lot of that strange Australian dialogue of quite stilted that I've talked about in the past. What are other people's impressions?
I'm hoping for fake blood.
Well, it's PG. I'm going to wonder if there's going to be any blood whatsoever.
I just want deep emotional scarring in this movie.
I'll take you out for lunch.
Toasty, what do you think?
I don't watch horror movies.
Right.
So that's what I think. I think that I'll be a bit distracted in this one, but still give my all as a podcastie. But avoid the trauma of horror by only taking in bits where they're talking and not getting stabbed.
I think the horror, I did flick through this just to make sure it worked on the on my DVD player, and it did look suitably dodgy. Lots of the scenes I saw was like a cup flying across the room on some Ouija board scenes. So
I mean, I get scared by Doctor Who, so we all. But at the same time, I think it's because it has Rosemary Baby on there, and that's notoriously terrible and scary.
I haven't seen that.
It's not that scary.
I think
Maybe for its time, perhaps.
It's a matter of perspective. Just
79.
looking at the images on the back, I'd like to revise what I'm expecting from fake blood to big hair.
Big hair.
I know. It looks more like I guess it's a 79. So
Lots of maybe perms, perhaps.
Maybe I'll be cured of my fears, and I'll suddenly be a horror fan.
Yeah. Horror for a very particular time and place in horror.
Yeah,
like Australian.
it's light horror that
80s.
isn't horror. Yeah.
All right, so I think we're going to watch Envy first. I think that's already decided.
Yeah.
Let's retire to the couch and check it out, and we'll be back to discuss that when we're done.
Yahoos out.
I want to know why.
Why what?
Why us? Why Matt?
You nicked my dress.
This isn't about a stupid dress, it can't be.
It is.
No, there's more to it. There has to be.
No.
Welcome to the dark corner of the human heart.
We're back after watching Envy, aka The New Girlfriend. We kind of worked out why it was called The New Girlfriend, but not why it was called Envy. So I think, Julia, it's your turn to tell us about Envy and what we just witnessed.
Envy is a film with a name that has been poorly chosen, as everyone continues to make the worst possible decision in every situation, about escalating above crazy and then going beyond that. And unfortunately, a dog passing away.
I mean, that was the saddest scene in the film, right?
Yeah, that was
Why
the
is
most
everyone
touching scene.
on about the dog? I always say that though, when people watch movies and they're like, oh, not the dog. The boy just got raped. That was fucking sad.
That was traumatic, But as Phil said, it was just a hand job.
No, oh god.
He enjoyed it, he came.
No,
Maybe
it was just a straight
Just a
rape of a young
climax,
boy.
Maybe
Look,
we
that
should
was
give
pretty.
some,
That was up.
I guess
And then the
Everyone
perpetuation
just hates
of rape
when-
culture.
Yeah,
Yeah,
everyone just
I
hates when the
guess-
animals get murdered, which is terrible. But it's on par with a child rape. You know, it's not the worst thing in there, I would say.
I like you put it on par with.
I'd say they're in a different arena, but they're in the same arena of just
I think
terrible
they're both
things.
kind of traumatic things, except, you know, if you stop and you look at the dog, it's like the dog did absolutely nothing
Neither
at
did
any
The
point
boy
in
who got
time.
raped.
I don't know. Weren't you talking about stranger danger?
Oh yeah, the boy had but it doesn't mean he deserved to get raped. You can make
No,
as
he
many
didn't
bad decisions as
deserve.
you
He didn't
want.
deserve to get raped. I don't think anyone.
But the
really
dog should have had stranger
deserved
danger.
anything. But I feel
He
like
got patted by that punk.
every single person just did dumb things every time.
Except for the boy, he was a young boy. He's getting groomed by this random
Yeah,
chick.
he didn't really do anything.
He didn't do anything. He was just walking through a mall.
Well, maybe we should give some context to the listeners. Maybe a little bit of the story. So we had Rachel, who was the young thief, as she was called on the back of the box. So there was the three delinquents, I guess you'd call them. Rachel, Nick, and I don't know what the other girl's name was. I don't know if we ever saw
Calling
her.
her spiky boots.
Spiky Boots. Yeah, kind of just delinquents. I don't know how old they would be. Maybe early 20s, maybe.
One was meant to be 19,
Yeah,
because
Nick
or
was-
18 or 19, because they mentioned in the video arcade.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
Nick was meant to be 18 or 19. I would say the girls would probably be 16, 17.
Yeah. So, like the opening shot was of them at the pool, and you had Kate, the successful businesswoman, mother, wife, whatever, who saw her dress that had been stolen at the pool. So she decided to steal it back, which started a cascade of events that brought on Rachel grooming her young son, who was maybe 16, I guess, maybe just doing his HSC, I don't know, grooming him to basically sexually abuse him with Matt, the other punk.
No, so Matt was the son's name. Nick was the.
Oh, sorry, yeah, Matt.
Nick was the other delinquent
The
character,
delinquent
the
with
male
Nick.
delinquent.
Yeah, so they tied him down. Like, you know, she gained his trust, and they busted into his, not busted into his house, but were invited in, and then they tied him down and sexually assaulted him with the dress that was stolen back by Kate.
Yeah.
Which led to the parents, Phil and Kate, obviously being concerned for their son's welfare and wanting to deal with it, I guess, and sort it out. And
Through a series of terrible choices.
yeah, so Matt, being traumatized, fell in love with Rachel and wanted to try and find her again. And the mum was not having any of that and wanted to try and protect her son and look after her, right?
Yeah.
I think that covers the basics. So, yeah, which took us to the point where the mum found them by chance, I guess. Didn't call the cops, found out where they lived, smashed their window, and it kind of escalated from there to the point where she was skipping work to dyed her hair to as a disguise to follow them.
Kidnapping.
Kidnap the thief.
Yeah,
Pay the thief to then go and fuck your son.
yeah, which was the strange sort of ending, as they're like trying to resolve it. So she had she had kidnapped Rachel, took her to her office, and had chained up and was like trying to basically, interrogating her, working out what she wanted, and then she ended up bribing her to go and sleep with her son in a more romantic, in inverted commas, way in order to resolve the situation. Which then led to the other delinquents wanting more revenge on them and ultimately drowning Nick in the pool.
Matt.
Matt, thank you. Sorry, I keep getting his name mixed up. Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, it was a
Wild ride.
was it bad? I mean, how did you
Yes.
enjoy the film?
I didn't enjoy it. I don't think I would say it's a good film, but at no point was I distracted from it. At no point did I want to say, F this, I'm out. Like,
Yeah.
as I think we've all felt in other films. Like, even though it was bad in a way that kept our attention that other films haven't.
Captivatingly bad.
That's true.
Yeah.
I mean, it did help that it was only 83 minutes long.
Yeah.
Which
Thank
is
God.
about 10 times longer than my attention span.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's only so many stupid decisions you can watch characters make before you're like, fuck.
It's just writing. It's bad writing.
Yeah.
It's just an unbelievable story, and for such a suburban setting, that was really difficult.
Yeah. So it seemed like it was shot in Sydney. I think, Jared, you looked up the
Yeah, I
address.
looked up one of the addresses.
What was this suburb?
Northern Sydney.
Littlefield or something like that. Lilyfield.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, it was shot relatively well, I think. It was adequate.
Yeah.
There's some nice shots in there. There's some by-the-numbers kind of film school style stuff as well. The acting overall, what are our thoughts?
I thought the main blonde lass,
Yeah.
Rachel actually played
Really
what she
well.
was given really well.
Yeah.
Like you got the fact that she was crazy really quickly. She had those that crazy look, and she did it quite well.
I thought she
Yeah, which Julia didn't pick up on all.
Stranger Danger.
Yeah, some of the rest of the acting wasn't fantastic, but what else?
I actually think everyone was cast very well. I think Matt had that look of that kind of gormless, naive, guileless high school student, when in his interactions with his mother Kate, there was definitely animosity there, which I would expect, a teenage boy might have for his mother if he resents her for a situation, which he did. Phil, the father, played the suburban dad very well, and especially having that mindset that he did, which came out in some of the dialogue. I think everyone was cast well and acted well. They just did dumb things every bloody time.
And why are we here? Was the question that was in my brain all the time. Like, why?
What's the meaning of the film?
Well, no. Why did they write it at all? And what was
It's a lesson on not messing with crazy, yeah?
Yeah, but
Don't stick your dick in crazy.
I liked the actress for both the actresses actually. I thought surprisingly, because I thought it'd be there'd be a lot of tropey woman jealous of other they don't have anything else to think about. But those actresses were really brilliant. But yeah. Is it just this is a bunch of bad things that happened and it's awful and all.
As in, what was the idea behind the film? Why would you write something like that?
Yeah, I just didn't pull me at any point. I think I do agree that it was shot, I think, beautifully and almost nostalgically in a way. There was some nice mall shots and some clothing sort of throwbacks that you sort of felt nostalgic over.
I feel like we're seeing that in a lot of these period movies, though. It's nothing special. Really.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. The woman who played Kate, the mother, Linda Cropper, I really dug her performance. She really sold it as a mum who felt guilty that her action had led to the assault of her son. And, I mean, it kind of hit that point we were saying, at the top of the third act, she maybe started to be a little unbelievable in her actions, but her acting I still believed in.
I do. It seems a controversial opinion that if Envy, I feel like the name Envy was specifically about the girlfriend taking the son away from her, and there was that.
Probably was. Yeah.
Hence the title of The New Girlfriend and stuff.
Yeah, The New Girlfriend. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I mean, I think you're right. Maybe that's what they were going for, but it wasn't presented that well in the film. It didn't come across so well.
I agree. I think it might have been what they were aiming for, but they definitely missed the mark.
Yeah.
If that was ultimately what they were going for.
I don't know if I think they just hands it on. I think that, I know that it was a bit of disguise, but her turning up and the dyeing of the hair and then the watching of him through the window when they were having sex, I thought it was kind of, I don't know, I thought it was really obvious.
That she was envious?
Well, because that's what they were trying to do, and it was called envy.
So, on the back of it, which I read earlier, did you read it?
Toasty.
You read it? Yep. So, psychological warfare between the two girls, Kate and what was it, Rachel. And then Kate becomes single-minded in her quest to take vengeance upon Rachel and her gang, and embarks upon a course of action that will dramatically change the lives of the one she loves most.
Right.
I suppose.
I feel like it's more about revenge than envy.
That's why it should have been called revenge.
Yeah, I don't feel like she was envious of Kate so much as more just protecting her son, or feeling that she wanted her son to be happy again.
Isn't that what parents do though? Protect their children.
Exactly. That's the point.
Well, as you made comment during the film, this is a movie about bad parenting decisions. If you want a guide of what not to do as a parent, I highly, strongly, very, very highly recommend that you watch this.
Oh, you haven't forgotten about Thursday night?
Can't we get out of it?
Hun, it's my show.
I just don't want to leave him on his own.
But what about your mum?
I can't tell her.
This is really important.
Not as important.
Please. Or just put in an appearance. Katie, just give him some time.
I don't know what else to do.
He's a good kid. He'll be right.
Maybe some sort of counselling.
Let's not rush into anything.
Well, early on, they're like, should we get him therapy? Yes, yes, that's exactly what
Film
you should
over.
do.
Although,
Oh, no.
As an artifact of the time, I forget exactly what the father/husband Phil said was, "Oh, let's not do anything crazy," to that effect, which is kind of it's a throwback to what, or how people considered mental health treatment to be. Like now, I don't think there would be anything.
That was just 20 years ago.
Yeah, no one would bat an eye.
Women still do that. Yeah.
Some people do, and maybe it's a generational thing. But I personally feel that addressing mental health and speaking to a counsellor or a psychologist or getting help is nothing to be ashamed of. Whereas that one line cut through and made me despise Phil. I was like, you backwards.
Well, not just that one line, though. Also, these line about it being rape or not being rape, like he's saying that his son obviously
There wasn't
ejaculated.
even penetration.
Yeah, no penetration. He's obviously playing that ignorant, almost suburban dad, I suppose.
He's been raped. I think that makes it more than just an embarrassing moment.
Hang on, when did we start banding around words like rape?
Of course it's rape.
Not in my book.
You don't believe in male rape?
Sure, but not this.
Well, what's the difference?
Katie, come on, it's huge.
I don't think so.
Okay, penetration for starters.
That's pretty restrictive.
Restrictive, I'm talking basic.
Phil, rape's about power.
Okay, well, how about this? I think I can probably safely say that rape victims don't enjoy the experience. I think I can fairly safely say that's the current policy.
Don't start getting facetious.
I'm not. But the bottom line is, Matt had an orgasm. He climaxed. Now, that isn't rape in my book.
They tied him to the bed.
I know.
They forced him.
Look, I'm not making any excuses for what they did.
Then what?
Well, you brought it up.
I just want him back.
Give him some time.
Oh, Jesus, Phil, we just keep going round in circles.
There was also, if you look at the cover now, you can see that the cover is the blonde chick looking all mean and shit. And then there's the little strip at the bottom is just the rape scenes. They put that on the cover.
Oh, really?
Oh, did they? It's like, look at that.
Where they're tying him
It's
down.
like 7 stills of this
yeah.
kid being
And
raped
like
on
a
the
big
cover of the
blood
DVD.
red. Yeah.
So they're really just going for something that I don't really... I don't know. Like, there can be movies that are that awful, that are cinematically amazing, or the script... I guess I just... Yeah, I didn't follow it with a great interest in anyone on the screen at all.
Yeah, I was always interested as to how it would be resolved as soon as the mother started, buying into the crazy.
Drown him.
Yeah.
Yeah, we wanted death, sure. That's what I was screaming
I
for.
was calling for a scalping.
But by the end, I came around to the crazies. I'm like, these people are just stupid. You may as well kill them all.
Yeah. No, we didn't get music of any quality. I mean, there's a soundtrack to it, but it was all composed music. There was no songs or anything that were played.
I didn't get the nostalgia I was seeking.
No, so I guess they probably didn't maybe not have the budget to pay for licenses to tracks. I don't know how much the budget was for this film. It was also presented in a 4:3 aspect, which is a strange ratio for a feature film. I don't know whether it was originally like that for TV or something like that. I don't imagine, since it was at the Toronto Film Festival, but I feel like Magna Pacific, which is the distributor of this DVD, and it's a name that pops up often in a lot of these kind of Australian films that I pick up, they're pretty cheap when it comes to releasing films. But I don't know. I don't know much about the brand, so I don't want to disparage them too much. It was. I mean, it kind of. I didn't know what to expect from it, and I guess I was pleasantly surprised in what I got. Whether I would recommend it, I guess we'll get to that at the end after the next film. So,
I think I enjoy watching my friends' reactions to it, like watching you. I think I've learned through this process that you're truly a romantic. Like, every time we've just watched a steaming pile of shit and you're like, I saw there was merit in the mothers. And I'm like, you're fucking adorable. I love it.
Yeah, I feel like I'm the optimist at the start, like, there's promise there, something good could happen, and at the end I'm like, everything is garbage. And at the end of it, you're like, there was some really beautiful,
yeah.
You always find that diamond in there.
Set my expectations low.
I would like to set it on fire. So sorry, Julie Money. I reckon you've got some chops, but yeah, I didn't enjoy it.
But let's continue on and watch our next film, which is Alison's Birthday, and we'll be back to chat after that.
All right, fingers on the glass. Ellie? What's the matter? You're not scared, are you?
I don't know. I don't know if this is a good idea.
Oh, it can't hurt you. Everybody does it.
Yeah, come on. Mum and Dad will be home soon. Right. Now. Is there a spirit in the room? Maureen, look, if you don't want to take this seriously...
Sorry.
Is there a spirit in the room? If there's a spirit in the room, please move the glass towards the yes button.
Oh, nothing's happening. Can we go home now?
Shut up, Ellie. Is there a spirit in the room? Is there a spirit in the room? Is there anyone there? If there is a spirit in the room, please move the glass towards the yes. Move the glass towards... It's working.
Hey, you two pushed it.
No, we didn't. Put your finger back. Come on. Can you tell us what your name is? A L I S. Alison? Your name's Alison? You have a message for Alison. What's the message? Don't go 19 birthday? I don't understand. Who is it? Who is it?
Alison!
Chrissy?
Alison! You have to get away! Away from them! Before 19th birthday, they want you for murder! Don't let them take you!
Chrissy, that's not funny. Stop it.
Listen! Have to listen to me! Terrible danger!
Who are you?
Your father!
So we're back after the second film, Alison's Birthday from 1979. Yeah, it was a horror film. Maybe, I don't know, who wants to talk about this one? Julio or Toasty?
I can try synopsize a little better than...
Oh no, you gave us envy, so
Yeah.
is it Jared or Toasty?
Go Toasty.
Better than last time, but yeah.
I wouldn't, it's funny, I wouldn't even classify it as horror because I could watch it. I'd say it's more like paranormal thriller, I'd say. And I went into it being like, oh no, because it's called Alison's Birthday, akin to Rosemary's Baby or something, and it didn't really scare me, which it means it's not horror, I think. And so basically it's just about a girl called Alison, and it's her birthday. And so the movie's called Alison's Birthday, and it's all about how her... I don't know how to explain it without spoiling it initially.
No, there's always spoilers.
Well, I guess, yeah, she just is works at a record store in a small country town. She's got a boyfriend, Peter.
Peter, yeah.
And then the movie's, that previous to this, she's young. She's doing a Ouija board session with her 16-year-old compatriot.
16 years and 4 months old.
16 years and 4 months specifically. And then the Ouija board goes wrong, and one of the girls is possessed by the spirit of her dead father, who says, "Don't go home on your 19th birthday," or some shit like that.
Pretty much.
Yeah, and she goes home on her 19th birthday despite this spirit message, and her friend dies to give her this message. But yeah, so she's then skipped to when she's 18 years, just over 18, so she's hitting 19.
18 years, 11 months, 26 days.
Yeah, and she's with Peter and she's working in a record store, and then her aunt and uncle who took her in, when her parents mysteriously died, call her back and ask her to come for her 19th birthday. She says, "Oh no, I'm not really sure about it," ums and ahs with Pete, but goes anyway despite the spiritual father warning, and her aunt and uncle sort of cajole her into it, saying, "Oh, her uncle's sick, you should come." It's all very suspicious. So then she goes up and spends time with them, and it increasingly gets a bit more wary. There's some get out moments where the mother is giving some tea, and it actually turns out to make her go to sleep, and
tonic, as they call it.
Tonic, and she's getting hypnotised, and Pete's all hip to the jive. Basically, he's going, "What the hell is going on?" Trying to get her out, but when they truly try and get out, they are thwarted, and there's a doctor involved, and it turns out that they sort of are occultists, and they believe that Alison was born at on the 19th hour of the 19th year of and she's turning 19. So it fits with their Celtic prophecy, and they need to get the spirit of her 103-year-old grandmother into her body, as they do every 84 years.
Yeah. Do you remember the name of the cult?
I know that they were trying to get the spirit of Myrna from body to body.
Myrna was a powerful demon goddess.
Yeah. And so it's sort of and there's there's a mini moke in it, and so a lot of tunics, which was top shelf. But yeah, in the end, do I tell the end yet?
Yeah.
Yeah, in the end. So yeah, the druid-looking motherfuckers take her into the back garden, and they're all like chanting and shit. She's hypnotised, and they're about to transfer the spirit of Myrna from her 103-year-old grandmother, this coven of witches, to her. Pete's trying to stop. He's got a gun. He's got a crucifix. He's ready to go, and then he gets there and she's possessed and tells him to give away the cross, and then shoots him in the face. Stands in the wind looking extra, and then they lie to the police saying that he was attacking her and that's why she shot him. And Alison, it turns out, was also transferred during the spirit transfer into the body of the 103-year-old woman, and is now trapped there until she probably very imminently dies.
Yeah, as a 103-year-old. 104, because it would have been her birthday.
Yeah.
On that day and that night.
Shockingly so, yes.
Yeah. I get a feeling the table enjoyed this one.
I hated it less than the rest.
It was fun.
That's high praise.
I actually quite enjoyed
Angry
it.
Toast, yeah.
There was some cool fucking tunes, some cool outfits. The pacing was a little off, but it was fun.
It was like a music video at some parts, and I liked the whimsy of it. And you did feel uneasy. It was that Get Out. I know obviously Get Out's come later, and it's got a different sort of racial undertone and a conversation going on there. But yeah, they were going back to the family's house. They were secretly trapping her. There was hypnotising. There was tea. There was this weird cult as body transfer, like the whole thing.
Yeah.
And I thought I would hate it because it has nothing going for it in the realm of things that I would like.
But
I didn't hate it.
You'd call it pulp, but not B grade.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
It was made for television as well back in the day.
I wonder if it was made for television. Oh, you're probably right, it was made for television.
But it had ad breaks,
But
like the spots for the ad breaks.
I would say it was made for television simply by the credits giving kudos to the 7 network, which I think has always traditionally been television.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the ad breaks, because it was what they call them, cards, with like Alison's birthday every 15, 20 minutes or so. So obviously it was that. But that could just be the transfer they got. Maybe that's the only remaining copy of it was what Channel 7 broadcast.
Entirely possible.
Maybe. So I mean,
it makes me think of that. That movie we watched. I don't know if it was in the podcast or not. It was like maybe it was an Australian movie, but it was like they was in this weird old house with a lot of hedges, and it was like very 70s, and I just hated it. Murder mystery, maybe.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what it was called. Not The Plumber.
Rich guy in the house or some shit.
Yeah. Hold on a second, it's over there. I'm going to grab it.
Yeah, 1 second. Viewers, please pause. We will back to you in a moment. You can cut it.
With the two brothers.
The two brothers we did watch. That pissed me off. I think it's because the reason I didn't hate this. Yeah, end play.
Welcome back
this
from the
bullshit.
intermission.
So yeah, the violence, and it was all. This one was all like it had this. Oh wait,
Yes.
Intermission.
rewind.
The noisiest studio in Melbourne.
So, Ozploitation, yeah.
Yeah.
So, this
you didn't like this. I remember you
No,
didn't
I
like
fucking
this.
vehemently.
But I like this one.
Yeah,
I liked it. It was a
nah.
bit more thriller. This was more... Like, I didn't mind this. Like, I thought it was relatively well produced, but I don't know, maybe the pulp stuff doesn't do it for me, you know? Unless it's got the comedy, like, say, Shaun of the Dead, or what was the other one they made? You mentioned it earlier. Or even like The Wicker Man. I guess that's kind
Get
of
Out.
pulpy. No, the other one in the Cornetto trilogy.
Oh yeah, Hot Fuzz.
Hot Fuzz, yeah. You know, it kind of had that vibe with the cult and whatnot. Yeah.
I guess I don't like it when they make it comedy because I feel like it's a bit slapsticky. And this one, it was just like a little bit creepy. Nice shots in the woods, like Kate
Had
Bush
Nan
vibe.
from Round the Twist.
Oh yeah. What was the actor's name? I did write it down. Dorothy Cronin played Aunt Jenny. Nell from Round the Twist.
Nell,
which
that's it, yeah.
was nice to see. I think the cop in there was also from A Country Practice, and Joanne Samuel, who played Alison as the 18-year-old, was in Mad Max, the original Mad Max, as Mad Max's wife, and apparently in the Wiggles movie as well.
There you go, a classic.
Wow. Yeah.
History.
Yeah, like shot in southeast New South Wales, we believe.
And Sydney Library.
And Sydney Library, yeah.
State Library of New South Wales.
I think I liked it mainly because of Pete. Like he immediately was like, something's wrong. He's trying to help. He wasn't annoying me with his stupidity.
No.
He made some really good choices, and he was like a likable dude. And he stood up for her when they were like, "No, you can't come to party." He was like, "It's Alison's decision."
Yeah.
He was a good guy.
Yes?
I'm here to pick up Ellie. She's expecting me.
Oh, she hasn't come down yet. I imagine she's still asleep.
Oh, wait.
Better come in then. It's Peter, come to see Alison.
Oh, well, I'm sorry. She's still asleep. I'll go and wake her. Pete?
Ellie, what's the matter?
I don't know.
Here.
You sit. Dean, take her back to her room.
I can manage.
This way.
I wouldn't worry too much. Mild case of nervous exhaustion, that's all. Most important thing is to make sure she stays in bed and rests for a day or two.
Oh, thank you, Doctor. I'll see she does it.
Well, I'll be off then.
Thank you.
I'll see you out. Thanks again, Doctor.
Let me know if you have any more problems.
Yes, of course.
Excuse me. Doctor?
Yes?
This might sound a bit strange, but we'll just suppose that whatever's wrong with Ellie isn't nervous exhaustion. Well, what else could it be?
There's no point in supposing. I assure you that's what it is.
Look, she's not a nervous person, not normally. Well, it's only since she's been in that house that she's been under pressure.
What exactly are you suggesting?
I'm not sure. That's why I'm asking you.
I think you're letting your imagination get the better of you. She'll be all right in a couple of days.
You heard what Dr. Lyle said. She needs to rest. I'm sure she'll call you when she's feeling better.
What about the party?
In view of Alison's illness, it will, of course, have to be cancelled. Now, if you'll excuse me.
So we had at least someone in it that wasn't cracked, and it made. And that was the thing about like surrealism or weirdness or cult. Like you need to have that straight person, I think, who's in the middle, being like, "What the fuck?" And they're all there in their things, and she's going, "Oh no," and she's getting hypnotized and shit. And he brought it back, but still, he wasn't strong enough for her spiritual mind.
But even like Alison was relatively pragmatic about the whole thing as well. Like she seemed to recover from.
Don't drink the Kool-Aid though. So.
Yeah, she was ready to get out as well, but they hypnotized her and stuff. Like, there's not much you can do.
But she didn't seem too scarred by the incident, and when she was 16, and her friend dying in front of her.
Yeah, I think Alison was a little bit difficult to believe, although, as Tracy pointed out, initially she was quite reluctant to go. And there were definitely points where she expressed her doubts but she kept at it. It's like, oh, Aunt Jenny and Uncle David.
Dean.
Uncle Dean. You know, they were so nice to me when my parents died, and they think I'm still 8. And at every point, I think we were all going, get out.
Yeah.
Get out.
But then that's the layer to it. That's a sinisterness because it's her family. So if you went home to your family that you've lived with and has raised you, and they're a little bit creepy, you might just think, that's weird.
Yeah.
You wouldn't think, oh, they're a weird cult. They stole me as a baby and I should leave. But I actually liked that layer. Like, I think it wasn't like, you know, the previous movie you watched, Envy, where it's just all you're watching is in the moment. It's too mindful. It's all in the present there. Whereas this one, it was like, oh shit, she's actually stolen as a baby. I didn't expect that.
Right.
Yeah. I was like, you wrote something I didn't expect in this movie with its ridiculous scene cards and, you know.
And you're right, it does play for that interesting obligation you feel to your family, despite how weird they are, because all families are.
Yeah. Well, you could just be like, she explained it even. She said, oh, it's because they think I'm still 8 years old. You know, she really made it like you go, oh, okay, maybe they are just babying her and they don't approve of the boyfriend, not they're a weird cult who want to take me out to their fake Stonehenge and transfer a soul into my body.
I guess you knew there was something sinister about the aunt and uncle, but the way they slowly reveal the cult involvement and things like that was interesting. Like, I mean, they're seeing the Stonehenge at the end of their garden was kind of like, okay, it's not right here. But and that turned into a bunch of swamp zombies.
Yeah, swamp zombies.
My new favourite insult.
Yeah, you fucking swamp zombie. Wouldn't be an Australian podcast without a Bonza insult.
Bonza insult. Yeah, we'll have to keep that one in mind because that is golden. I mean, so I guess the final questions is: would you recommend Alison's Birthday to anybody?
I would.
Yeah.
I feel like it's one that if you went to the cinema for like a horror movie night and this just showed up, you'd actually be quite happy with what you got.
Bit of a cult classic in that sense.
Yeah.
I think if you're having a couple of beers and you'd like, you know, there was some laughs there at the expense of the film, but it was fun. It wasn't. I didn't hate it.
Yeah, certainly better than the or what they give it on Rotten Tomatoes, 17%. Definitely better than 17%.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I think I said earlier, this is my favourite film that we've watched in the podcast.
Right.
Yeah. And it had mad levels to it. There was the hot seance chick, the hot tarot chick, a great outfit. There was the history of covens, you know, and how they travel. So there was some Celtic history there. Like,
it was Pete's dad as well.
Yeah. He was a standout character. I wish there was more Pete's dad.
Yeah.
I mean, matching tracksuit, bails his son out. You know,
the bailing out.
Jail. Yeah,
the bailing is son out from jail.
Yeah, he was like chill father ever. Okay, son. Yeah, I've bailed you out. I guess I'll see you later then. Like, that's exactly the kind of support you want from a parent.
Yeah.
In the exact opposite of where Envy is how not to parent, Pete's dad is how to parent. You know, be working out or whatever. Have your kid come up. You know, do some exercise with him, cook him a meal, give him a terry towel dressing gown, bail him out of jail. Hell yeah. I am there.
And at the start, he just rocked up and he's like, hey, Dad, can I crash on your couch?
Yeah.
And
Thanks for coming down, bailing me out and everything.
That's okay. But do me a favour, don't go wandering too far away. I've got quite an investment in you at the moment.
Don't worry.
And sometime when you're feeling the mood, you might like to tell me what really happened last night.
Yeah, I will. Thanks again.
Want a lift?
No, I've got to go and see a friend of mine. Car's just across the road.
Well, keep out of trouble.
I'll try. See you tonight.
Yeah, velour tracksuit.
Pete's dad, love him.
Had some likeable characters.
He had Pete when he was like, you know, maybe when he was 20 years later, and Pete's dad's a swinging bachelor now.
Yeah. And that's the thing I guess about Envy is I didn't like any of the characters at all. You don't have to like them, even if they're weird. Like the dad, you know, he wasn't like necessarily nice or not nice, but interesting and curious things.
Yeah.
And kind of cool.
So kind of relatable on some level.
The tight pants.
Tight pants and that sweet blonde hair and dirty
double
brown
denim.
mo.
Yeah. Top shelf.
Actually, the clothing in Alison's Birthday was a standout for all of us. I think, you know, from the little short shorts and stripy shirts to the late 70s, early 80s summer dresses.
Dungarees, bruv.
Yeah, the dungarees, which, you know, as a fashion has come back to be quite popular at the time that we're recording this. Mm-hmm. All of the clothing was great. The sets were great. The clothing was great. The music was great. There was a lot of, you know, Gary Newman comments and Theron. Like, we loved. I'm saying all of us. I'm making you all love it.
Blanket statements.
Yeah. Generalizations everywhere. Loved this film for so many reasons. For, you know, some standout characters, some interesting dialogue, swamp zombies, you know, some really beautiful cinematography.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I think as well, everything about this movie is what I would not look for in a movie. It's got horror elements. It's made in the 70s, and I don't tend to go for sort of non-modern films. It's Australian film, and although I'm an Australian film podcast, I often come very sceptically towards them, especially in the negative light, because they often make really over-dramatic, melodramatic type things. And I still came out. I was watching it the whole time. I got all of the details, and I liked it, which is high praise.
Yeah.
And I found it, just her swinging in her dungarees, soft music. Like, I was like, I could just go to sleep to this.
Mm-hmm.
And then they did the spirit transfer, and I was like, maybe not. But
See, I wouldn't recommend it to somebody just to watch it. They're bored and home alone. But like if you had a movie watching party or something, and definitely you'd throw this one on.
Yeah, I think you're right. It's the kind of movie you could put on in the background of a party as just interesting imagery in the background. Where if someone was kind of in the mood of like, I don't really feel like talking to anyone, I'm just going to sit and watch this, they'd be like, what is this?
I was
kind of
thinking,
cool.
more like a group of people, who are coming over for a movie night, This would be one of the ones you'd throw on.
Yeah.
Much like today.
Yeah.
So, Envy, would you recommend Envy to anybody?
No.
Jared?
No, not particularly.
Julia?
I might.
Yeah.
And I might watch it with them.
Right, you're right. Fair
Which
enough.
I think is the best I've ever said about any film. But once again, we love this.
We all know my answer. That last shot was atrocious.
For Envy?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I mean, I didn't hate Envy.
Wait, were you talking about Envy? Would I recommend Envy?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, no. Fuck that.
Oh, right.
I got starting. I'm still on Alison's birthday.
If you want to start again.
Yes,
No, it's cool. It's cool. I don't know. I didn't hate it.
Envy?
Yeah. It wasn't great, but I didn't hate it. Would I recommend it?
You, man.
Probably not. I probably wouldn't recommend it to anybody, but it didn't. It was definitely a 5 out of 10. It was mid-range.
What I also did like about it, I guess, is that they the thing happened to the boy, but it was all framed around the parents' emotional state around it and their frustrations. It never, he just kind of walked around, maybe skipping school and stuff. But
I was never sold on the boy, the actor.
Nah.
He didn't quite do it for me. He was a bit, for an important role.
He's just floppy.
Yeah, he just didn't, he was like his first real acting role or something like that. But anyway, I guess that's it. That's all we have time for. So thank you all for coming again. Thank you, Jared, Julia, and Toasty.
Toasty most.
I'm not sure what we're going to watch next time. We have a stack there we can pick from. If you have any questions out there or any criticisms or whatever, send us an email to seriousyahoo's@gmail.com, and hopefully you'll listen to us next time. Adios. Bye.
Send us suggestions. Bye.
Serious Yahoos is recorded at Fancy Goods, the noisiest studio in Melbourne. Theme music is Joker by Six Umbrellas via the Free Music Archive. All other samples have been used under fair use laws and belong to their respective copyright holders. Any questions or comments, please contact us at seriousyahoos@gmail.com.